So if you don't want to be recorded, you can just stay silent. So the first thing, let's see. So notice 1 came on January 7th. There were 4 issues related to it. It said, residents report overnight usage of your unit as a short-term rental. The second one was loud parties. Third was different set of strangers staying overnight. The fourth was people displaying no regard for Bluxom rules and regulation. So the first one about residents staying overnight, usage of your unit as a short-term rental. In my opinion, that sounds like someone needs a hobby. Someone's paying attention during the holidays. I oftentimes have guests during the holidays. I allow my unit to be used by coworkers year after year. Second one, loud parties. This came on January 7th. It's the holidays. Parties happen. Third one, different set of strangers staying overnight. I've got something like 338, I guess the average is there's 338 Facebook friends per person. That's the average.
I have 1,000.
You probably do have 1,000, Darren.
I'm an overachiever, sorry.
And then I have a lot of coworkers and so forth. I can have whoever I want to stay in. They can be of all care, creed, or whatnot. It doesn't matter who they are. So this one's very interesting, this different set of strangers. Yeah, they're going to be strangers to my neighbors because they don't know my friends. The fourth, there are homeowners who, so this one's good. People displaying no regard for Bluxom rules and regulations. I've been attending your HOA meetings as both a board member and as a participant. We have homeowners who display no regard for Bluxom HOA rules and regulations all the time. This is not unique to Airbnb. None of these are. The second notice came on January 21st, and there are 4 issues there as well. Residents continue to report an overnight usage of your unit as a short-term rental. Again, these people needed a 2016 hobby. The second one was unit remains online as available for short-term rental. You know what else is online? There's a video of the Loch Ness Monster. We can find that, and it doesn't exist either. The third is people staying in my unit say they're renting via Airbnb. Wow, I love this one. I once told somebody I was Kelly Slater, 11-time world time champion surfer. They believed me until they look online and they saw that, in fact, there's a video of me riding the Loch Ness Monster. Again, this is people talking, saying things. The fourth one I love. Police were called due to noise on Wednesday, January 21st, and yet none of you called me that day. The SFPD walked into this building and nobody reached out to me. I don't think it was the SFPD. I think it was Heart Patrol.
It was Heart Patrol.
And whatever it was, it wasn't enough to alert me in the moment. But what's really interesting that I loved about this, and man, you guys are quick, the notice was on January 21st, and it mentions that on Wednesday, January 21st, that occurred. That is the fastest turnaround time this board has ever done anything. Very interesting. It was almost like you were ready for this. It was interesting. Okay, we'll continue on. On Friday of last week, I sent you 36 notifications of violations that are in front of all of us. Visible, they've been around for years. They're in front of all of you. In fact, some of them are in front of your units. I then sent you evidence of 6 units that are Airbnb-ing. It took me 30 seconds to do that homework. No more. 30 seconds. I typed in Bluxom and they all came up. These are all violations that have gone on for years. In fact, you can look back at the Airbnb one that's on there, and it's been going on for over 11 months, and none of you have done anything about it. So let's talk about a hypothetical situation. So let's just pause for a minute. Let's just imagine you've decided to move out of the building. You want to keep your unit. So you move out of the building, and it's around November. And let's imagine that the world is just going crazy and people are like, of course you can rent it out. It's easy. It's easy to rent out your unit. It's simple. But then you put it up online and it's not so simple. People don't show up. People don't rent the unit. Nothing happens. And now you have a decision to make. And this is the decision you have. You have 4 decisions. You know that you have a mortgage to pay. You know you have rent to pay in the new place you moved into. You know you have property taxes that are due on December 14th. And it's the holidays, and there's travel. So you can either go desperate, lower the rent, throw anybody in there, and now those nosy neighbors will have a long-term problem. Then you may have a problem yourself because you put in someone just out of whatever. You could do nothing and you could eat the $4,000 a month, whatever it was, whatever your mortgage is. I don't know, we all have different mortgages, right? Let's just imagine it's $4,000. So you could eat that and you could follow the Bluxom rules and regulations that are very important to follow. Or you could spend your holidays spending money, furnishing your unit, working every weekend to figure out a way to not lose that money that's part of what you're doing. Now, the question you got to ask yourself is, if you were in that situation, what would you do? It's hypothetical. Don't respond. I'm not asking for a response. Because I know what you'd do. I already know exactly what you'd do. Because, as I mentioned, there's 36 CC&R violations that are in front of all of you, and you do nothing. You've done nothing. So there is no threat of action. There is no threat of anything. And you sure wouldn't burn $4,000. You wouldn't do it. Here's my point. HOAs are traditionally reactive. They're no more than an administrative body. We live in one of the most innovative cities in the world. This is a very innovative part of the world. And yet, we can't figure out how to innovate in our building. We follow rules that were written in 2004 in a world that is 2016. You know what's changed in those years? Airbnb, it didn't exist. It was established in 2008. And I know it's got the hoteling rules and all that. We fix problems and then they persist. I'll give you an example. Lock boxes were cut off recently. Well, they're back. You're not going to stop it. And they'll continue to be back. You'll never stop it. But why not innovate? Why not innovate and figure out how to actually work and build an innovative system to help people who get locked out of their unit? Just as an example. I have ideas. I'm not going to present them now, but I have a list of ideas on how you could actually control a scenario like Airbnb. I have ideas on how you could actually take the reins, because it's not going away. It's been going on under your nose for a long time and you've done nothing. And the only reason that I'm sitting here today is because of noise complaints, not Airbnb. And a couple of people that challenged people that walked into the building. They walk into the building and someone asked them questions, and you believe what they said to you. You believe a neighbor who's upset about noise, possibly my next door neighbor. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't care. Remember Jason Cavalli used to live in the building with Juliana down in 307?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story and I'm done. I've been learning the ukulele. It's a fun instrument, tiny little guitar, right? And I've been sending Jason, he used to live here. He lived here for years. I've been sending him videos of me playing the ukulele. Some are good and some are not good at all. And I sent him a note and it said, progress ain't always pretty. And that's what I'm going to leave you guys with the thought here now. Progress isn't always pretty. The growth that this building has to go through when things are changing, it's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to look great. It's not always going to be something that everyone loves. That's the end of my statement. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you not interrupting me at my request. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, did you turn off the recorder?
Yep.